What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. And in this video, I'm doing my takeaways of the Lions and the Washington Redskins game. The Lions fell in this one 16-19 to the 2-9 Washington Redskins. Let's get it started. Okay, so Lions fall to 3-7-1 as they lose to what was the 1-9 Redskins, now the 2-9 Redskins. Now, the Lions are dealing with tons of injuries, which is super unfortunate. Obviously, they're playing with their backup quarterback, tons of injuries defensively, tons of injuries offensively, but we were there. We were in position to win this game against the Washington Redskins. We were up by 3 multiple times. We couldn't get anything going on offense, and when it came down to it, we gave up a couple of field goals, and that was the difference. We weren't able to shut them down, and they made a couple of field goals, a couple of nice field goals. We did miss a field goal, which, as we lose by 3, could come back to bite us. But that is your final. The Lions fall. The chances that we were going to win out were very low, and you can see in this game, we're just not that level right now. We're just not at that level as a team. Is it because of injuries, coaches? I'm not exactly sure. There's a lot of factors that go into it. Obviously, I'm not a mind reader. I have no idea what the problem is, but I do know that this is very unfortunate. So it looks like we're going to be talking a little bit more about next year in this coming up week. So keep an eye out for that. Now, we will be talking about this year. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to give you guys my updates, everything that's going on with the Lions. But we will also be focusing a little bit on next year and where the Detroit Lions are sitting, moves that they should make, players they should draft, free agents they should sign, maybe if they should make some coaching changes. I don't know. There's just a lot of things to talk about, okay? We're just going to be talking about a lot of things for next year. Like I said, the Lions fell in this one. Let's get my takeaways. So positives. Bo Scarborough, I don't think he actually got the 100-yard game. He nearly did. Bo Scarborough played really well. I think this is going to be a running back for the future. I think this guy is going to be here next year. Now, is it still okay to draft another running back? Sure. Can he keep on carry on? Sure. But I think this is a guy for the future. Lions really like him. They gave him tons of carries from what I could tell. He played a heck of a game. I really like what I saw from Bo Scarborough. Jeff Driscoll, not his best game. He was in a lot of situations, though, where he was being sacked. Not a really good defense whatsoever at all in Washington. I believe they have the worst defense in the league. Either worst defense or worst offense. Either way, they're not very good, and we were only able to muster up 16 points. Yeah, it wasn't very good offensively. Tough day for Jeff Driscoll. Tough day for this offense as a whole. It just seems like we weren't able to get the passing game going. The running game was going. The passing game was pretty much non-existent for the most part. We didn't hear a lot of T.J. Hockenson, unfortunately. He had a couple of passes thrown to him. He just wasn't able to come down with them, whether it was a bad pass or whatever it was. Also, keeping it on the offense side of things, our wide receivers are still good. They're great wide receivers. We have seen that once again. Our tackles struggle a little bit today. We saw Rick Wagner and Taylor Decker struggle a little bit. Some of the guards, we saw some injuries. So a lot of tough things offensively. Yeah, we're talking about the offense in this week. That may be like the first time we've done this all year. We usually just focus on what the defense did wrong, but the offense actually struggled today. The Lions weren't playing a good offense whatsoever at all in Washington, okay? Dwayne Haskins, the rookie out of Ohio State, he missed a lot of passes, and I think this game could have been a lot worse than what it was. He did miss a lot of passes, but that's what you get. No quarterback's going to be perfect, especially as a rookie. So that's not something that's like, if he makes those passes, they score a lot. Sure, but at the same time, the same goes for our quarterback. Maybe if Jeff Driscoll makes some more passes, we win that game. It doesn't really matter. Either way, the fact is we lost this game, and they didn't have a great offensive performance. The Lions played pretty well. You have to remember the one touchdown that we did give up defensively was actually on special teams. It wasn't our defense. So the special teams, kick return definitely hurt. Was it a kick return? And it put them up 10-3. And the Lions bounced back really well. They bounced back really well in this game. They went up 13, then to 3. They scored 13 straight points. Like I said, though, they just weren't able to finish this game off, and the offense really couldn't find a way to seal the deal. Unfortunate way to lose. Obviously, at this point, you can start focusing on draft picks and, not necessarily the playoffs anymore, and the odds weren't very likely coming into it. But when you're watching the game, you want to see your team finish it off. We weren't able to do that today, even though we were right in the position to do it. So like I said, we're going to be focusing a little bit on next year. A tough loss. I don't see Matthew Stafford coming back at all this season. I don't think that would make any sense no matter how much he wants to play. Don't do it. Let him rest. Let him get healthy. This season's over, at least for playoff standards go. Defensively, we saw some good things, some bad things. Austin Bryant, he had his, first game back. Didn't hear his name a lot, but he was out there getting some reps. That's good to see. Amani Oruwariye, obviously we all know about that. The interception from Amani, shout out to that man, okay? The young man who hasn't played much this season at all had an interception. So he played a really good game. A lot of young guys came alive. Tavai played a pretty nice game for what I could see. Will Harris, got beat a couple times. Sometimes he made some good plays. So there's definitely good and bad, a lot to learn from this team. And it's just unfortunate that we weren't able to beat this team, okay? This is a team that we should have beat. And we didn't. We weren't able to get it done. If there was Matthew Stafford, do we win this game? I could pretty much bet all the money I have in my bank account It's not that much. Let me just say that. I mean, I got the car, so there ain't that much in there. So it's pretty much a safe bet for me. But I would say we probably would have won the game with Matthew Stafford. Going to go right for the firing coaches and stuff. Now, I honestly, personally, I hate seeing people get fired. It makes me feel bad. I know they want to win. I know Bob Coons win. I know Pasqualoni. I know Patricia. I know they all want to win. And it's super unfortunate what is going on right now. So we'll see what happens. I'm not going to make any predictions in this one. I don't think, well, I guess this is a little bit of a prediction. I don't think they'll be fired before the end of the season. If anything happens, it'll be after the season. Is it the right move? Is it not the right moves? I'm not exactly sure because, again, I don't like seeing people get fired, especially after 2 years. It's just not a long enough time to really, let them do their own thing. But from what we came from to what we are now, we have just completely fallen off. And yes, there are injuries. There's a lot of things that go into. We'll probably talk about this more during the week. We've talked about it. But just simply looking at this game, we saw Terry McLaurin is a really good wide receiver for Washington. We saw what we thought. He is a very good wide receiver. They weren't able to run the ball very well. It was just unfortunate. Our offense just couldn't finish it off, and it really came down to that. And yes, we lost to the Washington Redskins. There's just not a lot to say. Now, I am going to have a voice number that you guys can call into, and maybe that's right here. I'm not exactly sure. This is near the end of the video. Call that number, leave a message. I actually have one of those. I can react to those, what you guys feel, and that'd be a pretty fun video. So just leave those messages. Let me hear your thoughts. Not a lot to say, really. Offense, you struggled. Defense, you played a little bit better, but you were also playing the Washington Redskins, so it's kind of hard. Saw some good things, saw some bad things from some young guys, and the Lions are now 3-7-1. Ouch, man. After a 2-0-1 start, this hurts. It hurts. I'll see you guys in my next video. If it's a voice video, that'd be really cool, so make sure you call that number. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.